how in most of the villages in Naruto, more than likely the strongest person is gonna be the Hokage. They're gonna try to seek out one of the strongest people to be the Hokage, right?
Right, or
So
at least one of them.
right. So the argument that was getting pushed back against me, Gabe, some others, is that Tsunade wasn't the strongest person in the village at the time, and we were trying to instruct them by saying, look, Orochimaru was evil. Can't ask him. They asked Jiraiya. He said no. So Tsunade was next up, and we thought that was fair. And then they were like, "Oh, but we never saw Tsunade do anything. How can we say that she's as strong as them?" And that's where we used the narrative to prove why she was as strong as them. Go ahead, Lonnie, you cooking? Go ahead.
When it
I also think this is a good clip moment, so definitely timestamp this one. Ultimately, I do think narrative takes precedent. I do think there's obviously you have to take into certain context, like when the author says this guy's stronger than this guy, but this is only to state this to see the character eventually surpass this guy, to kind of set a standard. Like he's over you, but this character is about to surpass him, so it's going to happen. But I also think something to consider is when they are establishing someone's this strong, oftentimes the author, which he brought up Naruto and Kishimoto, maybe this is a fault in some people's eyes. They have context of why they think they're stronger, and sometimes they don't put it all the way on the page, but they know why they think this guy's stronger. So, which either you wait for the context on why they're stronger, or you just believe what the author says. So those times can be very tricky if the author doesn't really flesh it out completely, right? So, for example, the third Hokage, he's like the god of shinobi, right? He's this guy. He's the master of all elements. We saw him lose to Orochimaru right at the beginning of the series. So that one is tough to really
I'm not moved.
How strong is third Hokage really? But I definitely see that. Overall, I always take narrative as like the foremost important, but I do think sometimes context can really make that difficult. Where for Mihawk, I don't care about that Vista stuff. He's still the strongest swordsman. He's still a top dog, and he's still up there with the best of them.
Hey, Weesta must be the second strongest swordsman. Then Weesta up there.
Maybe,
I'm
but
good with that.
I also saw a kid clone of Mihawk going crazy. Going crazy. It was a kid clone.
But to give y'all additional context, because this is one of the nasty arguments we were having, right? We were arguing about the village structure and how in most of the villages in Naruto, more than likely the strongest person is going to be the Hokage. They're going to try to seek out one of the strongest people to be the Hokage, right? So,
or at least one of them.
Right. So the argument that was getting pushed back against me, Gabe, some others, is that Tsunade wasn't the strongest person in the village at the time, and we were trying to instruct them by saying, look, Orochimaru was evil. Can't ask him. They asked Jiraiya. He said no. So Tsunade was next up, and we thought that was fair. And then they were like, "Oh, but we never saw Tsunade do anything. How can we say that she's as strong as them?" And that's where we used the narrative to prove why she was as strong as them. Go ahead, Lonnie, you cooking? Go ahead.
When it comes to Tsunade, they also said that because of her pedigree, her family's pedigree of having the first, second, and the first and second teaching the third, and the fact that her family's close with the Daimyo and things like that, and her having the status as one of the three legendary Sannin, it was a status move, not a strength move. It was because of the status and the respect that, because at the end of the day, the village just got attacked. They look vulnerable to the other countries. So having a person of status as the leader kind of brings your respectability up compared to for the rest of the world. So it was a strategic move to have her as the Hokage.
Yeah.
Okay, on.
Well, I will say that like Tsunade's not straight out strength. Like Orochimaru and Jiraiya is above her. But I will say like she could definitely hold her own in a lot of fights purely because of her broken healing abilities.
Yeah.
And
I would think for some way or another, they all got the title together. She has to be relative to them. Stronger, probably not. But it's not like they're a 10 and she's a 6. I don't think it would be that big of a distance leap.
It's not like, and this is not shot because I actually respect her, unlike most people. Now I do anyway. Like post time skip, I do. It's not like Naruto and Sasuke and Sakura, where it's like
Yes.
a crazy gap between Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura.
Unfortunately, there's not a crazy gap between her and Jiraiya. There's just not.
It's not.
Well, I'm gonna say
Jiraiya's stronger, I'd say, but there's not a crazy gap.
Yeah,
I'm still waiting for the part. Like, is it every time I see Sakura in the manga or in the anime, I'm trying to see why people don't like her. Like, I think she's fine.
it's all
Like,
pre-time skip. You're not going to find anything post-time skip. Except maybe
there's-
one moment.
There's
Okay, fine.
There's gonna be a moment where I know randoms just gonna be like, "Oh, this."
Yeah.
Which I don't think that moment is even bad. I think that moment is so overhated, but I'm not gonna spoil
I don't
it.
think it's bad, but like when you've dealt with women like that,
Lonnie, that's the point. That was the realest shit a woman could do.
when you
It
deal
was
with women
so
like that, it's like,
real.
because I wasn't even mad. I was just like, "Come on, bitch." I was just
It was real as fuck.
But she did she tried to do it for a good reason. She, you know what I'm saying? Try to give her a little leniency, considering the situation. And
so she a hoe with a conscience?
But she wasn't really feeling that. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of like a lie.
Hey,
Just
hey,
to kind of
Chad, I'll let you in on game. A hoe with a conscience is the most toxic hoe there is because they try to justify their activities.
Hey,
They try to
man.
justify what they doing.
Oh, yeah. But it's random. The reason why people hate Sakura is pre-time skip. So if you don't hate her now, I doubt you're really going to change your opinion about her.
You're not really good.
I think people are being unfair. Like the ones where, because I've seen all the memes where the person's grabbing them by the hair, and instead she cuts the hair instead of stabbing him in the thing. These are ninjas who can like disappear and shit. Like I feel like they put her on a pedestal that they don't put other people to. Like, okay, she's not as smart as like Shikamaru. She's not as strong as like Rock. I don't know. She's not as strong as like Rock Lee, especially pre-time. Like, she's just a girl. Like, she's just a love-struck girl who's kind of freaking out in the situation because they're finally like, she's the one that, in a weird way, like, I'm not saying freeze. I'm trying to say another word for freeze. She's the one that falters a little bit, especially when you compare her to the other two, like, guys in her party. Like, one of them's the main character, the other one's like the other one's the Deuteragonist. Like, I'm sorry, she's not as good as them, but she still gets work done. Like, let's not sit here and pretend like she's trash. Like, we compare. I've seen people say they'd rather have Kiba over her, and I'm like, all right, we can just stop.
That dude's
Yeah,
useless.
Kiba.
We can just stop. And I haven't read the rest of Naruto, but we can just stop right now.
Yeah,
Kiba without his dog, what is he? What is he? What is Kiba without his dog?
Oh, you
Another
cook.
dog.
Facts.
Did
Did you see have you seen the Sakura Sakura test again, the second test? I'm not going to say exactly what happened. Have you seen her do the test again? Have you seen since the time skip?
No.
So yeah, that's going to be okay. That'll be a good. I feel like did that not happen before the sorcery arc or no?
Sure it did.
Okay, then I don't remember because
I'm
tired of.
It's really not that important.
It's her and Naruto training with or doing the.
Oh yeah. They were. That was. By the way, I really like that test. I really like that. But then that's like I said before the show, it's like the fights are getting dumbed down for me. And it's really bumming me out.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What fights do you feel like we're super dumbed down? If you don't mind me asking.
Okay, let's see.
Where did you end in the manga?
I am on the bridge in the manga, but I'm right when Sai leaves with Orochimaru. That's where I'm at right now.
Gotcha.
So I think, because when Miles told me this, the fact that they don't do the juices, it feels like the author's so tired of drawing the individual chakra things. And maybe it's because I really like how Shikamaru fights. I enjoy how he fights. Like, I think more people should fight like him. I think he just has it really down well. And then when you go away from him and then you go with somebody else, like, it's like the tactics don't feel like they're there. Even the like, okay, like the tactics don't feel like they're there all the way. Maybe because they're dumbing it down. You already kind of know how it is. So it's like, it's like when in Dragon Ball, when what do you call it? When they just transform right away and they just get to boxing, they don't use solar flares, they don't do this, they don't do that. Like, I feel like they could before. Like, The minute I pull up to somebody, solar flare, destructo disc, let's keep it pushing. That's how but I feel like the Naruto fights get dumbed down a little bit more.
I will say, like, in
go
Shippuden,
ahead, sorry.
I will say in Shippuden, like, there are like maybe a few fights that still have that like part one type strategy and like thinking, but like it does turn more into like a Dragon Ball fight where it's more like power versus power in some situations.
That's what I really liked about pre-time skip. Like, you could be weaker, but if you're smarter and use your tactics, you could walk away with a dub. And Shikamaru was the embodiment of that.
Did you get that from the Sasori fight?
I think the fact that, look, I understand that y'all love Chio. I think the fact that Chio's is like, oh, Garo's dead, I'm gonna magically sacrifice my life to bring him back. It's like, all right, bro. Like, if they did this in My Hero Academia, I'd be like, all right, we're just done. Like, because I'm still mad.
They did do that in My Hero Academia.
They did, and I still don't like it. But whatever. But I just think it's more. Oh, I'm just gonna punch up instead of using different clones and things like that. Why are there still elements? Absolutely. But what really drew me, like when we talked about the first time when I was a kid, it's just the fact that there's so much tactical fighting, and it seems like, am I wrong for saying that? Am I just wrong for saying that?
No, there's definitely more tactics in part one than in part two. There are gonna be some fights, like eventually when you see Sasuke and Itachi again, finally get to duke it out, you're gonna see a lot of strategy in that.
I will say Sasuke versus Datara has a lot of strategy in it too.
Yeah, another one. Also, you are gonna get to see Shikamaru fight. There's some strategy in that too. So like there's some strategy fights upcoming.
Shikamaru low-key turning into my favorite. I'm just gonna keep it a stack. I love how
his best arc's coming. His best arc
is coming, man.
Okay.
I love his Naruto and Sakura versus Kakashi, and Sakura and Sasori, Sakura and Chio versus Sasori also had strategy. Did you not agree with that?
Like Naruto and Sakura versus Kakashi, absolutely. Just because they didn't like, oh, we're gonna throw the clone over here and blah blah and this and that. I think that one had strategy. Now Sasori and Data, it just felt like.
So I'll say this: I think the first half had a lot of strategy when they were still in the cave before it devolved into, I have enough. These 100 puppets are used to topple a nation, and then Chio was like, "Well, I have these 10 puppets that are enough to topple even that." That's when I feel like a lot of the strategy went out the
window. That really pissed me off.
And don't get me wrong, it's hype and it was cool as shit. But like, it was just puppets going at it, like no rhyme or reason. Just let's just fight.
I hear you.
Especially
what about Chio using?
I feel like just gods just duking it out. There's no strategy in the war.
Because even on the bridge, when Naruto goes crazy with this Four Tails, right? Four Tails.
Oh, you already hit there too?
You've seen it?
Yeah.
You've seen all of it?
So you've seen Orochimaru and Naruto?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I told you said to read. I've been reading and getting sick, but like even that, it's like,
yeah, that one's no strategy. It's just
no. I get it because Naruto's going nuts. He's basically like, he found this new level. He can't control it. Blah blah whatever. I think Sakura. I like Sakura's role in that because she just like, look, I'm gonna figure this out. I'm hurt. I'm gonna still heal him. And then I don't like Sai and Naruto's introduction to each other. I'm like, don't give me Naruto Sasuke. I already got that before. Give me something else. I don't like that. Don't play that back again. Give me something else. But that I wish like they found a way to contain that better than just, oh, he's just destroying everything, and then it's not a talk no jutsu, but they find a way. But it wasn't like part one. They would have found a better way to do this than what they did.
Yeah. I will say Orochimaru was using some strategy in that fight, though. Orochimaru was like actually thinking.
Yeah,
Sai be pissing me off, man. He's dirty, ain't he?
He's supposed to piss you off.
I was supposed to piss you off.
Yeah, he's dirty as fuck, isn't he?
Well,
dirty as fuck.
They'll find out.